Next up, indictment number 3123, calendar year 2013. Defendant Edward Camacho. Attorneys?
Nazdin Malik for the DA's office.
Julio Pabon for the defense.
Judge, the charges in this matter are robbery in the first degree, criminal possession of a weapon in the third degree, assault in the second degree, 2 counts of grand larceny in the fourth degree, possession of stolen property in the third degree, and petty larceny.
That's correct, Judge.
The defendant pleaded not guilty at arraignment. Is there an offer on the table?
I do have an offer for the defendant at this time, Your Honor. May we have a few moments to discuss?
That's fine.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, counsel. Counselor, your client is looking at a lot of time here. I can offer 5 years probation, YO status, would seal your client's record. That's only if he's going to plead guilty to robbery in the second degree, and that would be in satisfaction of the entire indictment.
I don't think he's going to go for that because, as you know, he says he was at home and he didn't do it. I'm sure you've seen he has a clean record. Can you offer anything better? Is your case that strong?
We have enough evidence to proceed forward.
Well, clearly you have something, or else we wouldn't be here. I need to be able to advise my client with something. Can you at least let me have a copy of the grand jury testimony so I can get a sense of things?
Well, counselor, you know that doesn't come until later. I'm offering your client a good deal. He should take it.
But with nothing to base it on? As far as we know, all the evidence shows is that someone did it. He says it's not him. If the evidence indicates otherwise, I might be able to reason with him.
I'm not here to help your client, counsel.
Granted, but it would be much easier for both of us if we had something to show him.
All I'm authorized to give you right now is just the offer.
Fine. I'll talk to him.
Okay.
So come on, what's up? I mean, they're gonna drop this, right? Because like I told you, like I said earlier, I didn't do this. I don't even know what's going on.
Not exactly. They're offering YO status, 5 years probation, and they will seal your record if you plead guilty to robbery in the second degree.
Hold on. First of all, what is this YO and this 5 years probation? Listen, I've been coming to court now like for 8 months. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even know what's going on. No evidence or anything. So what do you mean?
Well, we don't know what they have exactly. They say they have evidence. The problem is we don't know what it is or how strong it is.
Yeah, but you're saying I want to know what the evidence is. I mean, tell me. I mean, they want me to take a plea without even knowing what they got against me? I mean, come on. This is not justice. I mean, come on. I didn't do it.
Bro, it's hard to assess what the risk is if we go to trial without knowing what the evidence is. I can tell you that if they do have a strong case, robbery in the first degree carries 2 to 25 years in prison, which is probably a lot longer than what they're offering. On the other hand, if you want to fight it, you said you don't have an alibi, right?
No, because I told you I was home asleep. I was watching the game and then I fell asleep. But I'm telling you, I did not do this. And then I just woke up and I went downstairs to go to the store. And before I knew it, the police grabbed me and told me that I robbed somebody.
Look, if you want me to fight it, we can file certain motions to force the prosecution to hand over some of the evidence. But that could take a long time. And in the meanwhile, you're going to be locked up.
Hold on. You're telling me, I said this has been going on for over 8 months and no one has told me anything or showed me anything. And then in the meantime, I have to sit in jail and just wait?
At this point, since we can't know exactly what the evidence is, we have to consider the possibility that a jury may find you guilty, Edward, regardless of whether you did it or not.
Man, this is not right, man. I mean, I'm telling you, I did not do this, man. You got to help me out. You my lawyer. I mean, get some of this evidence and let's look at this evidence.
But it isn't fair. You're right. But that's the reality. I can't sugarcoat it.
Counselors.
Just one more morning, Judge.
Okay.
Eddie, what do you want to do?
Listen, I want to fight this because I said I didn't do it. But it's hard for me to fight anything when I don't know what they got against me. I mean, come on. I'm telling you, I do this. I never been arrested a day in my life. You know what I'm saying? So how can I take a plea to something I didn't do?
Listen, I know how you must be feeling. Scared, frustrated. But remember, we don't have to prove anything. They do.
Yeah, but how can I trust this court system when I'm here in the first place when I said I didn't do it? You know, but yet and still, she wants me to plead out to something. You know, come on, man. I can't go to jail for something I didn't do.
Well, let me see if I can get the judge to intervene.
Yeah, please.
Your Honor, my client maintains his innocence, but without knowing what evidence the prosecution has against him, he feels the risk of going to trial is just too great.
Hold on, hold on. What about it, Miss Malik? Are you in possession of evidence that you failed to turn over to the defense?
Respectfully, Your Honor, I haven't done anything I'm not authorized to do under the law.
I'm aware that you are basing your actions on Criminal Procedure Law 240, but you are aware that your role as a prosecutor is not just to mete out convictions, but to hand out justice.
Yes, Your Honor, but respectfully, as both you and defense counsel are aware, under CPL 240, I'm not required to produce any evidence until I'm sure I'm going to use it. Now, if defendant takes my offer, I won't be using any of that evidence.
And you think that's fair?
With all due respect, Your Honor, it's not up to me to say what's fair and what isn't fair. That's what the law is.
Again, counselor, your purpose as a prosecutor is to do justice, not just seek convictions. CPL 240 doesn't prevent you from turning over the grand jury transcript to counsel here, or giving him the names of witnesses in case there's exculpatory evidence that might exonerate his client. Is that not correct?
That's true, Your Honor, but at the same time, with all due respect, CPL 240 doesn't require that I turn over any information at this time.
Madam ADA, okay, you're not supposed to turn it over, but is there any language specifically prohibiting you from turning over this information to counsel?
No, Your Honor, there isn't. But again, it doesn't require that I do so.
Miss Malik, I cannot force you to turn over this evidence, but in good conscience, I strongly urge you to at least turn over the transcripts to counsel here.
With all due respect, Your Honor, under CPL 240, I don't have to turn over the grand jury minutes until the start of trial.
There's something seriously wrong with this law, CPL 240. Very wrong. Defense counsel, are we ready to go to trial?
May I have just another moment to discuss with my client?
Yes.
Your Honor, please.
Yes, please make it fast.
Eddie, you saw what happened. I tried to get the judge to intervene, and you saw that she tried, but her hands are tied. We're going to have to make a decision without knowing what evidence they have.
What do you mean her hands are tied? She's a judge. She's nothing but an ADA. You know what I'm saying? What do you mean?
I know, but look, the law gives the DA an advantage. The law doesn't give the judge the authority to force the prosecution to do the right thing. We have to make a decision. Do you want to fight this or you want to take a plea?
Man, I gotta fight this because I tell you I didn't do it. But what I'm saying is I need to see something. You know, what are they saying I did? Man, they may not even have any evidence. I mean, for all I know, I don't want to plead to something that that I don't see. I need evidence to make a decision here.
Look, I'm in the dark just as you are. We can fight it, but I can honestly tell you that's a risk. If they have anything that looks like it could be you, if they have someone that has a mistaken witness, it's a huge risk with a lot of years.
Yeah, man, and they call this justice, right? And I have to make a decision. I can't make it. I got to make a decision now. Well, I can't make that decision. I have to speak to my mother.
Judge, my client would like to discuss this with his mother. Could we have a few days?
The wheels of justice are turning. You don't have a few days. Please have your client talk to his mother, and you're to come here tomorrow at 10 a.m., and you either go to trial or you take a plea. Is that amenable?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow at 10.
Ay, ma.
Ay, mijo, ¿cómo está?
Ahí, tranquilo. Bendición.
Dios te acompañe.
Ay, María, hace un calor allá afuera.
Sí.
Ay, María.
Cuidado, mijo, cuidado.
But so what happened in court?
They're saying that if he says he's guilty, he won't have to go to jail. they'll put them in some kind of parole and do something with the record so that no one will ever know.
Probation, ma, not parole,
Está
probation.
bien, Eddie, está bien.
Calm down, Ray.
Calm down, bro. Calm down. You know, what is all this about probation and maybe no jail time?
Listen, my lawyer told me that if the DA says if I copped out, right, that they'll give me this YO and they'll give me 5 years probation, you know, but I got to cop a plea, but I don't see no evidence.
Wait a minute. Cop out? What are you talking about, a plea? What's a plea?
Ray, they really think I did about putting a knife to this woman's neck. They really think that I did this, man. I don't even know what they're talking about. I was home watching a game. I fell asleep, you know, and then when I got up, you know, after a while, I went downstairs to the store, and then the police grabbed me, and then I'm here. You know, it's going on 9 months, and they haven't shown no evidence. Every time we go ask my lawyer, you know, he keeps saying something like 240, no evidence. We can't see no evidence. It's like 240. You know, I can't give you nothing, but some lady took the stand at the grand. They got grand jury and they got a statement, but we can't see nothing, man. Yeah.
Well, did the lawyer show you the statements or what the witness says in the grand jury? Ma, tú estabas en la corte. You was in court.
Every time I tried talking to the lawyer, Ray, he looked like he was trying to ignore me or something. You know, he just wanted to talk to Eddie. I asked him, where's the proof that my son did this? I don't want my son going to jail. I felt like I was really going to start to lose it with this lawyer because he's not giving us any evidence. Eddie kept asking him, where's the evidence? And he had no evidence. I told him to his face, you must be working with the DA. You must be working with the DA. You have no evidence against my son. You say you have evidence, but you don't have any evidence. We haven't seen anything.
Wait a minute. What did the lawyer say can happen if you don't take the plea? I mean, if you go to trial and get found guilty, you know, we got to know how much time can you get.
Mijo, why are you asking him? Why are you asking him that?
Well, you know, we got to find out what's happening.
They're not giving us anything. They want him to take a plea. They want him to take a plea, Ray. They're not giving him anything. The only thing I know is that I don't want my son going to jail. I want him to take the plea because I don't want my son going to jail. I want him to come home with me, Ray.
Well,
I don't want to hear anything else. I want him to come home with me.
well, is that what you're going to do, man? Cop a plea?
Why are you asking him what he's going to do? I already told you what he's going to do. He's going to cop the plea because he's not going to go to jail. You know what happens in jail. They get killed, they get raped, all kinds of things happen in jail. My son is not going to jail. My son is not going to jail. It's not happening to my baby. He's going to come home with me.
Yeah, ma. Listen, I don't want to see this happen to Eddie either. But Eddie says he didn't do it. Eddie, did you do this, man? Tell me the truth, man. Dime la verdad, man.
Hey, coño, Ray! What's wrong with you? Ray, what's wrong with you? You sounding like my lawyer. I tell you I didn't do this, man. I was home watching the game, and then I fell asleep. You and Ma usually are home. You wasn't home, man. So I woke up, and I went to the store, and I keep telling you, man, I don't know what's going on here. I never seen that lady. I never use a knife on nobody, man. So what's wrong with you, Ray? Yeah, you say take it easy. I could go to jail here. My life is messed up. Yeah, man. And you sounding like my lawyer. You know what I'm saying? You don't believe me. You my big brother. And you don't believe me. You know what, Ray? You know what? Maybe Ma is right. You know, maybe Ma's right with this lawyer. Because every time we ask the lawyer, you know, for some evidence, all he keeps saying is, I don't have no evidence. They can't give me something like 240. I can't get this 240. But you know what? And I'm thinking like, Ma, maybe my lawyer is working with the DA to just send me up the river. But you know what? I'm thinking maybe I should just take this plea. Even though I didn't do it, I should take this plea, do the 5 years probation. Then maybe after that I could just maybe go to college, put my life back together or something, you know. But what really bothers me and what really hurts me is that I never been arrested a day in my life, never had no problems. And I'm going to be pleading guilty to something that I didn't do. And that's what really bothers me, man.
Well, Eddie, if that's the way you really feel, maybe you should take it to trial. If they're offering you probation, no jail time for an armed robbery, man, that means they got a piss poor case against you. And I think that that's the reason why they want you to cap a plea.
Ray, what are you trying to do, mijo? What are you trying to do?
They don't have anything. They don't have anything.
Mijo, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee,
So you
Ray.
take a chance.
There's no guarantee if he goes to trial, mijo. We don't have any money for an attorney. We don't have the money, mijo. What are we going to do? I don't want your brother going to jail. What are we going to do? We don't have the money, mijo. We don't have options here.
Yeah, but if they're offering them a probation for that case, that means they don't have anything.
Ray, yo sé, mijo, but we don't have the money for an attorney. No hay dinero. We have no money. There's no options.
Go ahead, Mom. Eddie's taking it. Say it.
I'm going to tell you, Ray, I want my son taking the plea. Your brother has to take the plea. Let him take the probation. This way he can come home and there's no jail.
Well,
That's it.
that's it.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Defense counsel, are we going to go to trial?
My client has decided to